Welcome back to my channel, Celeb Buzz. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. William Boyd finally talks about Randolph Scott. William Boyd was born William Lawrence Boyd on June 5th, 1895 in Hendrisburg, Ohio. Boyd's early years were not filled with the fancy stuff of show business. His family later moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then to California, where he had several different jobs before he started acting. He worked picking oranges, measuring land, and even as a model in a department store. These jobs taught him about real life, which later helped him play regular guy characters that felt real on screen. Boyd's tough good looks and clear star quality got him small parts in silent movies during the 1910s and 1920s. His big break came in the late 1920s when he got cast in major movies like The Volga Boatman in 1926, directed by Cecil B. DeMille, and The King of Kings in 1927. For a while, Boyd was a leading man, getting fan attention and studio support. But when Hollywood changed from silent movies to talking movies, Boyd's career hit a big problem. A case of mixed up identity in a scandal where he was wrongly connected to another actor with the same name who was in legal trouble briefly ruined his reputation and almost ended his career. He was banned by studios and found himself close to being forgotten, but Boyd refused to give up to sadness. With amazing determination and smart business sense, he took a big risk that would change his whole life. In 1935, Boyd bought the movie rights to Clarence E. Mulford's Hopalong Cassidy stories and took control of the character's movie future. He not only starred in the first movie as Hopalong Cassidy, but he also helped make it. What started as a cheap Western turned into something huge. Audiences loved Boyd's way of playing the character, a clean-living, good, silver-hailed cowboy who wore black and fought for what's right in a violent, crazy frontier. Unlike many bad guys of the type, Hopalong Cassidy was someone to look up to, good, brave, and never scared to stand up for what was right. Between 1935 and 1948, Boyd starred in an amazing 66 Hopalong Cassidy movies. His cowboy character went beyond movies and entered television in the 1950s, making Boyd one of the first stars to see and use the new medium. He sold the Hopalong Cassidy movies for TV shows and even made new content for the show. His idea paid off big time. Hopalong became a national brand with Boyd's face showing up on lunchboxes, comic books, cereal boxes, and tons of licensed stuff. Children across America loved him, and parents respected the good things he stood for. Even with his success, Boyd stayed a humble and good man. He refused to let his character sell products he felt were wrong for children. When he turned down offers that didn't match his moral beliefs, it cost him money but made people admire him even more. Boyd never forgot that he was a role model to millions of young fans. He carried that job with deep honesty. William Boyd, best known for playing the good cowboy hero Hopalong Cassidy, lived a private but eventful personal life that was marked by both happy times and terrible lows. Over his lifetime, Boyd was married 5 times, each marriage showing a different part in his journey through fame and personal change. His first marriage was to Laura Maines, a rich woman from Massachusetts whose wealthy background brought Boyd into fancy social circles far away from the dusty trails of Hollywood westerns. Though their marriage was short, it marked an important change for Boyd as he started dealing with the complex world of high society while handling the demands of a growing film career. Boyd's second marriage was to actress Ruth Miller, with whom he had his only child, a son named William Wallace Boyd. Sadly, their baby son died from pertussis, also known as whooping cough, at just 9 months old. The death of his son was a deep and terrible blow that left a lasting mark on Boyd's heart. Those close to him said that he rarely talked about the tragedy in public, though it was widely believed that the pain never fully left him. The loss created a permanent emotional hole and may have helped cause the end of his marriage to Miller. Still looking for love and friendship, Boyd next married Eleanor Fair, a well-known silent film actress who had once been thought of as one of Hollywood's most promising young talents. Their marriage was often covered by the media, with the press often showing them as a glamorous and charming couple. But like his previous marriages, this marriage too ended in divorce, showing the challenges Boyd faced in matching personal happiness with the pressures of celebrity life. His fourth wife was actress Dorothy Sebastian, whose own career in film had earned her a strong following during the silent and early sound era. Their relationship, though at first loving, eventually suffered from the stress of Hollywood's nonstop watching and the individual dreams that often pull couples in different directions. The end of their marriage further showed Boyd's struggle to find lasting emotional happiness in the middle of the glitter of stardom. Boyd's final and longest lasting marriage was to Grace Bradley, a popular actress and singer who stayed by his side until his death. Unlike his previous marriages, his marriage with Bradley was marked by stability, mutual respect, and a quiet but lasting love. Bradley became Boyd's most trusted friend and strongest supporter, especially during the later times of his life when he slowly stepped out of the limelight. Their bond was one of deep loyalty and love, and Bradley continued to honor Boyd's legacy long after his passing. After retiring from the screen and leaving behind the silver-spurred boots of Hopalong Cassidy, Boyd turned his attention to money ventures, most notably putting his savings and leftover money into real estate. He moved to the new desert community of Palm Desert, California, a peaceful and sun-soaked place that offered both quiet and a sense of privacy. There, Boyd changed himself once more, not as a star or a cowboy hero, but as a smart and forward-thinking businessman, and his investments turned out to be successful, making sure that he could live comfortably away from the pressures and expectations of public life. In his later years, William Boyd made a careful decision to step out of the public eye, deeply worried about keeping the perfect image of Hopalong Cassidy, the good, upright cowboy who had inspired generations of young fans. Boyd refused all requests for interviews, public appearances, or new photographs. He believed that any change from the wholesome character he had created on screen might hurt the joy and love that audiences held for the character. In a time when aging stars often wanted the spotlight well into their older years, Boyd's withdrawal was a striking act of self-sacrifice and dedication to his legacy. To many, it was a gesture that proved his unwavering commitment to the values and image he had spent a lifetime creating. After decades of silence, guessing and whispered rumors swirling around the relationship between two of Hollywood's most famous Western stars, William Boyd, best remembered for his legendary portrayal of Hopalong Cassidy, finally opened up about his long-rumored friendship with the handsome and quiet Randolph Scott. In a rare and emotional interview given late in his life, Boyd shed light on the complex, often misunderstood nature of their connection, revealing a bond shaped not only by shared stardom, but also by a deep mutual respect formed in the golden era of American cinema. According to Boyd, his silence over the years wasn't because of anger, lack of interest, or distance, but rather a deep commitment to keeping the private dignity that both men treasured. Randolph was a man of few words, Boyd remembered, his voice filled with nostalgia. But when he spoke, you listened. He didn't chase fame, he walked beside it. For Boyd, the quiet nature of Scott wasn't being unfriendly, it was honesty. And in an industry where egos often blocked values, Boyd believed that protecting the quiet loyalty between them was more meaningful than feeding public curiosity. The two actors first met in the early 1930s when both were on the rise in Hollywood's expanding Western type. Boyd had just begun shaping his on-screen character as the morally upright cowboy in the Hopalong Cassidy series, while Scott, with his tall frame and dignified bearing, was quickly becoming a favorite in both action roles and romantic dramas. While they were never co-stars in a major motion picture, their careers often ran side by side, each showing a different side of the classic American hero. Boyd, the friendly lawman with a code of honor; Scott, the mysterious loner who preferred justice over applause. Boyd admitted that their friendship was quiet but steady. They were not the kind to be seen partying in nightclubs or making headlines together, but they shared letters, private lunches, and the occasional fishing trip far away from the flashbulbs of Hollywood Boulevard. What connected them most was not only their love of the West, but their commitment to creating a legacy that could stand the test of time. "We talked about legacy a lot," Boyd explained. "We wanted to leave behind characters that made boys believe in doing the right thing and gave fathers a reason to watch with pride," but Boyd also talked about the swirling rumors that had long surrounded Scott's personal life. In a moment of unguarded honesty, he defended his friend's decision to keep his private affairs out of the public sphere. Randy didn't owe the world an explanation for who he loved or how he lived. He lived with grace and decency. That should have been enough. It was a rare public statement that added to the ongoing rethinking of Scott's legacy, especially regarding his decades-long friendship with actor Cary Grant, which for years was the subject of both admiration and controversy. Boyd's thoughts came not just as a tribute to a friend, but as a sadness for a time long gone. "Hollywood today isn't the same," he said. "Back then you had to stand tall without a safety net. You didn't have the internet to defend yourself or press agents to spin your story. You had your work and your word." Randolph Scott never betrayed either. In finishing his memories, Boyd expressed gratitude that the public still remembered both of their contributions even as the wheel of history spun on. If people see a little boy in a cowboy hat with a wooden gun pretending to ride into the sunset, then we did our job. Randy and I, we rode for the brand. Thus, with heartfelt clarity and admiration, William Boyd finally broke the silence that had covered his friendship with Randolph Scott for so long, not with scandal, but with respect. And in doing so, he reminded the world that in the fading light of the Old West, the bonds formed between men of principle still ride tall in the shared memory of a bygone Hollywood. William Boyd was a lifelong and devoted Republican, a political identity that he carried with quiet conviction throughout his life and career. He believed strongly in the values of traditional conservatism, emphasizing personal responsibility, patriotism, and the importance of law and order, principles that often mirrored the honorable traits of the Western heroes he portrayed on screen. During the 1952 United States presidential election, Boyd publicly voiced his support for General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the former Supreme Commander of the Allied forces in World War II, who was then running as the Republican candidate. Boyd's endorsement of Eisenhower wasn't just a shallow celebrity gesture, it reflected his deep respect for Eisenhower's military leadership and the promise of moral integrity and strong governance that the general brought to the political arena. Boyd admired Eisenhower's character and competence, and his support helped further align him with the ideals treasured by much of his fan base, particularly in the American heartland, where his portrayal of Hopalong Cassidy had made him a household name. His endorsement was seen in the press, and he was admired by fellow Republicans for using his fame to help bring credibility and visibility to the campaign. In recognition of his significant contributions to American cinema, particularly his role in shaping the Western genre, William Boyd was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This tribute, located at 1734 Vine Street in Hollywood, stands as a permanent testament to his enduring legacy in film history. The star commemorates not just the popularity of Boyd's performances, but also the innovation and passion he brought to his work. He had redefined the character of the Western cowboy through his portrayal of Hopalong Cassidy, transforming a hard-edged gunman from Pulp Fiction into a white-tailed gallant role model for children and adults alike. Boyd's influence extended beyond entertainment into the realm of American culture and morality as he helped set a new standard for how heroes were depicted on screen. The placement of his star among other Hollywood legends is a fitting tribute to a man who helped pioneer television syndication, children's marketing, and the enduring mythos of the American West. Further cementing his status as a Western icon, William Boyd was posthumously inducted into the Western Performers Hall of Fame in 1995 at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum located in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This prestigious institution honors those who have made lasting contributions to the genre of Western performance arts, including film, television, radio, and live theater. Boyd's induction was a celebration of his indelible mark on the genre, not only through his acting, but through his visionary business decisions. When he purchased the rights to the Hopalong Cassidy character, including over 60 films and merchandising rights, he revolutionized how Western media was marketed and consumed. His induction recognized both his artistic talent and his entrepreneurial spirit, acknowledging that his influence continued to shape the Western genre decades after his last performance. The museum's inclusion of Boyd serves as a reminder of how he elevated the cowboy figure into a symbol of integrity, courage, and hope for generations of fans. Tragically, William Boyd passed away on September 12, 1972 at the age of 77 after battling complications related to Parkinson's disease and congestive heart failure. These health struggles marked the final chapter in a life that had been filled with both incredible professional highs and deeply personal losses. Parkinson's disease, a degenerative neurological disorder, had slowly robbed him of his mobility and ability to communicate, while congestive heart failure had weakened his body. Despite these challenges, Boyd remained dignified and private during his final years, supported faithfully by his beloved wife, Grace Bradley Boyd. Their marriage, his fifth and most enduring, had lasted for over 3 decades, and Grace stood by his side throughout his illness, demonstrating the deep bond and love they shared. After his passing, William Boyd was laid to rest in one of the most revered cemeteries in California, Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale. His remains were placed in the Sanctuary of Guiding Love alcove located within the magnificent Great Mausoleum, a structure known for its serene architecture and its role as the final resting place of many of Hollywood's most revered stars. His burial site has since become a quiet place of pilgrimage for fans and admirers who wish to pay their respects to the man who brought Hopalong Cassidy to life. When his widow, Grace Bradley Boyd, passed away in 2010 at the age of 97, she was laid to rest beside him, reuniting the couple in eternity. Together, their shared crypt symbolizes a legacy of loyalty, artistic achievement, and timeless devotion. Through his work and the love he shared with Grace, William Boyd continues to live on in the hearts of those who cherish the golden age of the Western and the values it once proudly stood for.